And we're live. Ah. 2 seconds, just working on fixing something up, and then we're gonna get started right away. Ramiro, how's it going, man? How you doing? Do. Alright, there we go. It should be okay now. Yes, long time no see, Ramiro. We totally weren't talking 30 minutes ago. And if we're talking about seeing, then you totally didn't see me 12 hours ago. Damn. Lee, how's it going, man? How you doing? Wow, this is bad. Nightwalker, how's it going? Okay, so I know. Seer, how's it going, man? How you doing? I officiated a Oh yes, this is true, Romero. I did know about this. Blake, how's it going, man? Weird guess, by the way. That's always been my first guess forever, Plague. Like that's you can go back for hundreds of streams. It's always my first word. And I expected a day stream today. Yeah, I called in sick from work. It's fine. My parents were not happy about that. Good. I've been reading COI today. Oh shit. Okay, nice. Baysack Frank, how's it going? Just be careful about COI here. Like a lot of people in the chat, not only myself, but others haven't read Volume 6, COI either, so just be careful. Store. That's not bad. No, it's not. S can't be in there, so no. I'm thinking treat. Okay. Drummer. Volume 6 is definitely good. Volume 6 is definitely fantastic. Are you finished reading the story, Drummer? I mean, I see the Hero Bandit Black Emperor is your profile pic, so... okay, hold on. Okay, I really need to lock in here. So, T-O-R... For most people, yes. Yeah. I'm on volume 6-2 around 12:20. Oh shit, that's awesome. Okay, so you're only like 20 chapters ahead of me. That's fucking awesome, man. And you have not even reached the good parts of volume 6? Jesus Christ, that's kind of nuts. But yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, we'll get started reading in like 5 minutes. T-O-R... Zaza, how's it going, man? T-O-R... Tor... It's not torch. There's a C and H has already been used, yeah. Tor. Every volume just gets better and better, in my opinion. I think 1 was better than 2 so far. That's kind of been the only downgrade that I think exists. I wonder what Easy's reaction would be to Chernobyl. Oh yeah, drummer, he's gonna be. Holy shit! I was shitting bricks when that happened. That was crazy, man. No, even Romero hasn't read COI. TOR. Autumn, how's it going, man? The fuck did my... Sorry, my keyboard just gave out there. Tower. Ah, fuck, it was tower. Shit! Shit! That was really bad timing, Senta. That was really bad timing. Yeah, drummer, I know. The thing is, I didn't even mind Volume 1, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, cause I saw the vision, maybe, but like, I saw the fact that it was so... He was so meticulous about drawing out, like, small, minor points. I took that to mean, like, he was drawing up something really big, but I can also see how that would be like, I don't give a fuck about the fucking Grain Act, bro. Get this out of here, so I get it. But Senta, Vershawn, how's it going, guys? Autumn. Volume 3 is my least favorite? No, for me it would have to be 2 so far. I loved 3. Traveler, Klein just going around as Gearman Sparrow. Oh god, that was fucking awesome. Tap, 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 tap. Easiest connection today? Fuck, you had to put that pressure on me, Senta. You couldn't just let me do it. God damn it. Okay, hold on. Let me cook. Checking, savings, deposit, withdrawal, banking related stuff. I know, because I work at a bank. Haha. Grain Act, so unimportant. Yeah, it was just depressing. Tap, sparkling, bottled, tap. No. Still? Still. Water. Yes. True, false, odd, even. Shit. Where I went to the store and back and Anka's stalling. Yeah, I was waiting for you, Milos. God, you can't even appreciate it. Fuck you, dude. Yes, no. Odd, even, black, red. Roulette. Yes, false, no, true. Okay, Senta, you weren't lying. That was really easy today. That was really easy. Do you guys think COI will be adapted during Lord of the Mysteries? No, I don't think so, Plague. I think it'll be done after. But yeah, Mr. Fool. Good afternoon, Mr. Fool. Good. Hey, Tenab, how's it going, man? By the way, Mr. Fool, we had another Mr. Fool come in at a time you were not here. That was cool. We have 2 Mr. Fools. All right, let's get started now. 127. Yeah, it's a little early, but fuck it. I'm so excited about today's chapters. I don't even care. Oh yeah, by the time COI gets adapted, I'm gonna be fucking 30. Oh god. When is Amon? True. Someone... Yes, I heard that too, Plague. Yep. What are we at? 11... Oh, we're at 1200. chapter 1200. What? Why did it close? God damn it. God damn it. Sorry, my fucking reader closed. I'm old, okay? Oh, but it did pull up to the right chapter, which is nice. Chat, let's go. Yeah, dude, actual Ankh moment there for a second. That's crazy. 1200 randomness. Arter, how's it going, man? Dude, I'm gonna be old as fuck. But here's the thing, Mr. Loki. That's like saying, like, oh, I don't know if I'd care about One Piece by the time it finishes. Like, I don't know either. I don't know how much longer One Piece has to go, but all the same, I'm so glad I got to enjoy it for as long as I did. Even if I don't get to watch it till the ending, doesn't matter. I'm glad I got to enjoy. You don't enjoy a thing because of the destination, right? You enjoy it because of the journey. So I don't really care. I'm just glad I got to enjoy it. Period. Can we go to 1207? Yeah, Romero, that was a rough number I put up, man. Oh, good. We can go to 1207, 1209, whatever. In the next 5 to 20 years. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's go. After a while, the space in the collapsed forest tore apart, revealing an illusory yet mysterious door. The door opened silently, and a handsome man with black hair and golden eyes walked out, dressed in a well-ironed shirt, looking mature and elegant. Before he could examine the scene, he heard a loud boom. He could feel a violent storm blowing towards him. And he saw a middle-aged man with an imposing aura appear in front of him. The middle-aged man had rather obvious large earlobes. His hair was dark and blue and thick, and there seemed to be countless bolts of lightning hidden in his eyes. Alright, good night, Zaza. He was the Cardinal of the Church of Storm, Archbishop of the Backland Diocese, Randall Valentinius. The clergyman in the black robe that was embroidered with storm suddenly looked around and cast his gaze at the golden-eyed man, as he asked in a thunderous voice. No worries, Luvian, I appreciate you popping by, man. Selt, what happened here? Selt, the golden-eyed man, shook his head. I don't know, I just arrived as well. Just as he said that, a mountain-like, nearly transparent spirit body appeared in the void and placed a figure in mid-air. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Milos, they're all timed. Let me just check. Fine. The figure was dressed in a long black red-patterned bishop robe. His eyes were deep, and he didn't have a beard. He was the figure in charge of the Backland Diocese of the Evernight Church, Anthony Stevenson. Mr. Loki's given the real solutions, by the way. Goated. It is scheduled to become available in about 11 hours. Yes, here we can keep that for now. No? Or we can change it, of course, but let's. Ooh. Yeah. The figure was nope. The Backland Diocese Archbishop of the Church of the Evernight, Anthony Stevenson. After the gigantic spirit body completed its mission, it shrank and entered St. Anthony's mouth. At the same time, black, long hair covered his face as a translucent, drifting spirit appeared behind Anthony. In the next second, a turbulent flow of air rushed out from Backland City and pushed a figure towards the area at high speeds. Fuck, Romero, you're right. Soon, the guidance came to a stop. It was an old man in a white priest robe and a clergyman's hat. He had a kind and gentle face. The air that was spewed out from the elder's back vanished as the black tube that was shimmering with metallic light retreated back into his body. This was the Archbishop of the Church of the God of Steam and Machinery, a member of the Divine Council, Horamek Hayden. He strangely stopped in midair and looked around. Although the battle here isn't too intense, it's definitely at the same level. Also, the remnant polluted aura is simply... As they spoke, the 4 demigods looked down at the middle of the collapsed forest. There was a tarot card depicting an old man. The Hermit card. Alright, Loki, I appreciate you popping by, man. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Kami, how's it going? Randall Valentinius, Celt, Anthony, and Horamek instantly fell silent as no one spoke. Above the grey fog, Klein was frowning as he looked at the box of the Great Old Ones in front of him. The moment this Grade Zero sealed artifact was sacrificed, the entire Sephira castle began to stir, as if it had been brought to a boiling point. Oh, yeah, this is definitely something. As if it had been brought to a boiling point? Even the power... this is like at the power of a god. This is not at the power of an angel. This is like EBS or True Creator trying to force their way in here. They get some fucking crazy shit. The massive amount of power that was automatically activated, forming a torrent that appeared like steam as it completely drowned out the box of the Great Old Ones and wrapped around it tightly. At this moment, the silvery black jewelry box that was embedded with gems seemed to become an insect in amber. There was no room for movement. Previously, Sephira Castle was triggered when I spied on the true gods or kings of angels when I was injured. This is the first time it has experienced such changes due to an item. Klein couldn't help but raise his right hand to wipe away the non-existent sweat. Godzilla, how's it going? Frankly speaking, he was a little afraid. He felt that he had been a little carried away after gaining initial control of Sephira Castle. In the past, he didn't dare let a Grade Zero sealed artifact enter this place. And this time, because it didn't involve a uniqueness, and with how he had improved from the past, he thought of giving it an attempt. Thankfully, it's under control. In the future, I'll have to be careful and tell Ma'am Hermit and the others that they can't just sacrifice everything to me. Not a fucking rag and bone man. After muttering a few words, he began inspecting the box. He remembered that Miss Magician was still inside the sealed artifact, so he planned on figuring out the situation from the box as soon as possible to prevent the bait from dying. The sealed artifact's level is insane. Even Erides's understanding of it is rather limited. I'll still have to do it myself. From the looks of it, as long as I don't attempt to divine what the 3rd level is, or attempt to seek out the source of the power, the danger is acceptable, or even non-existent. Following that, he conjured a pen and paper and began doing a divination. Hope, how's it going, man? When you say 4th, I assume you mean like 4th member of the Tarot Club? Audrey Alder... Sun... Force? After an unknown period of time, he opened his eyes and muttered. The 1st level can allow the interior space to switch locations with the target's area and miniaturize the scene, turning objects into toys. The living beings that have been turned into toys must be released within 24 hours, or they'll be permanently converted. Even their spirit bodies will never enjoy eternal rest. 4's wall, 4th... in that sense, I see. It's very easy to release them, as long as a specific region is chosen, one so small that it is almost devoid of any living creatures. Swapping it when the interior space will do. There's a limit to the scope of this ability. It reaches its limit with a city the size of Backland. Why did I use Backland as an example? Yeah, I got it, Hope, I got it. The 2nd level records different scenes. There are the Abyss, Cosmos, and all sorts of places, allowing the wielder and living beings within a certain range to directly move to the target area. The problem with this is that it's random. A small portion can be designated by the wielder, thus releasing the corresponding location. Most of the time, the chosen location will change, and the destination of the final destination will be unpredictable. As for when the location will be effective and the anomaly happens, there is no way to know. He can steal a whole city and put it inside a box. Guess the sequence number. But don't we just know that it's an angel of the apprentice pathway? So wouldn't it just be like sequence 2 or 1 of the apprentice pathway? I don't know. Besides, this seemed to be something that can't be affected by good luck, or perhaps good luck cannot affect those below sequence 0. This means that I can't use this box of the Great Old Ones to directly transfer the City of Silver out of the Forsaken Land of the Gods. If I can, my Miracle Invoker ritual will be simple. I'll try and see if making them into toys will work later. Wait. Oh my god, you might be able to smuggle out the entire City of Silver in a fucking box. That's so goated. The third level is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. I won't take the risk to pry into its secrets. The negative effects of the Box of the Great Old Ones is simple. It's just that the wielder will randomly vanish, suddenly die, or mutate. If there are no holders, the living beings in the surrounding areas will encounter terrifying matters one after another, depending on the distance from it and their size. The maximum range is the same as the first level. These Grade Zero sealed artifacts can destroy cities on a whim, killing hundreds of thousands or even millions. No wonder it's given the highest ceiling. One is not to ask, describe, or pry into them. Wait, so like you could just be holding the box and one day the box goes, I've had enough of this guy, and just suddenly insta death? What the fuck? Where did the entities that vanish go? This seems to be something to do with the second level. The reason why the Saint of Secrets dared to move around with this artifact is because he had the blessing of Ouroboros. He can reduce the negative effects to a minimum. But even so, he didn't dare to hold on to it for long. It looks like the reason he didn't manage to recover his lucidity ahead of time and find a chance to teleport had to do with his bad luck turning bad. It's really hard to kill saints that are valued by a huge organization. I must say that Ma'am Hermit is considered experienced and clear-headed. She didn't seem to make any rash contact with it. Instead, she created an invisible servant to hold it. Furthermore, she sacrificed this Grade Zero sealed artifact to me as quickly as possible. Yeah, I know, 008 just is constantly trying to like, oh, this guy killed himself. Gotcha. In theory, I can summon a historical void projection to hold this item. After all, it doesn't matter if it vanishes or dies, but the usage time cannot be guaranteed unless I get Will Ossipton's blessing. Ince's pants fell down. Of course, the worst thing that happened to Ince was his pants falling down. After roughly figuring out what the way to seal it is to put it in the spirit world, but that's not enough. It has to be a place that is distorted and hidden even in the spirit world. Then ordinary water has to be poured into it regularly, allowing the Box of the Great Old Ones to play with microbes every day. With so many living beings, it can last for a long time. With this train of thought, there are many methods to seal it. After roughly figuring out the exact situation of the box, Klein looked at the Grade Zero sealed artifact and felt that the third level no longer seemed as dangerous and impossible as before. What a foolish idea. Just because I know 1 and 2, 3 can't be that bad? Yeah, shit doesn't work linearly like that, Klein. You can't just be like, well, 1 is like bad, 2 is like pretty bad, so like 3 should be manageably bad. Not how that works. He believed that as long as he extended his hand and removed the seal placed on it by Sephira Castle, he could open the third level. What a strong temptation. Klein retracted his gaze and waved his hand, causing the box to fly towards the junk pile. Dude actually throws a Grade Zero sealed artifact into the junk pile. Is like, oh, the fool has no need for something of this caliber. Oh. Regardless of whether it was a sealed artifact or not, head over there to be quarantined and get a hold of yourself. As a terrifying grade 0 sealed artifact, one has to have a number to show its importance. Unfortunately, I don't know how many grade 0 sealed artifacts the 7 churches have. Should be no more than 50, right? Yes, the box of the great old ones can temporarily be named 061. I'll adjust it according to the situation in the future. Where the fuck did he pick 61? He just got it on a whim? If Ma'am Hermit isn't able to create a sealed environment, she can place 61 above the Grey Fog. Once she needs it, she can apply for it. Klein, oh my god, I think I see what's gonna happen. Klein's gonna make a church. The Tarot Club is eventually just gonna become a church. The Church of the Tarot? The Church of the Future? I don't know. She can apply to get a sealed artifact? That's like the same procedure that a Nighthawk goes through. Basically, the Tarot Club members are going to become official Nighthawks, and then like their believers are just going to be believers. Oh, that's so cute. Varshan, thank you so much, dude. Thank you for being a member. Seriously. Thank you so much. Oh, they're gonna make a fucking church. Out of the grade 0 artifacts, you know? What do you know of them? What do you think of them? I mean, obviously, like, there's a lot of things, Romero, but my immediate thought process is this is the great old ones. Maybe I don't know, I feel like this is something special. I feel like this is something beyond, I don't want to say beyond a sequence 0 or grade 0 sealed artifact, but I don't know what the great old ones are. Of course, she must pray to Will in advance for his blessing. I wonder what stage I'll have to be before the King of Yellow and Black who wields good luck can be genuine in name. There's a portion in the Miracle Invoker. And there should be a portion in Attendant of Mysteries. Klein amused himself with his thoughts and finally picked up the characteristic left behind by Botas. Nagato, how's it going, man? Yes, Varshan, we know that the Evernight Church started as a secret organization, got back from Arabic class? Ooh, yeah, oh yeah, your school has started up again. How's that, Nagato? It looked like a crystal with countless rays of light refracted within it. Lyola, how's it going? Long time no see. Thank you, Pushkar. How you doing, Pushkar? After staring at it for a few seconds, he suddenly threw the characteristic into the air. No, Pushkar, I actually give my resignation tomorrow. I just called in sick today. Damn, my parents were so pissed about that. After staring at it for a few seconds, he threw the characteristic into the air. The power of the Sephira Castle boiled again. Under the control of Klein, it formed a corporeal, semi-translucent wave and struck the crystal hand. The crystal instantly shattered, splitting into countless tiny dots. A pitch-black gas emerged from within before it rapidly melted away, twisting and disappearing into Sephira Castle. Under the law of convergence characteristics, those tiny dots of light slowly gathered together nearly a minute. They reformed into a magnificent and dreamy crystal-like appearance from before and landed in the palm of Klein's hand. Tenab, how's it going, man? We have 20 minutes to class for a teacher to say the projector is broken and send you guys the video. Dude, I've had that, Bullseye. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to drive down and then you're like, bro, you couldn't fucking just tell me this before. Kill me. No, it was that, so Labyrinth, they were like, oh no, you're handing in your resignation tomorrow. You shouldn't have called in sick today. Now they're gonna think that, like, you just gave up and you don't care. I was like, and I give a fuck why. they're gonna be super pissed at me for the fact that I'm leaving after a month at this job anyway. It doesn't really matter. Like, what the fuck? But, nah. Fine. You know, sometimes your parents just tell you stuff and you just go, yeah, okay. The contamination inside was cleared. Inside Sephira Castle, Klein's power was equal to a Sequence 2. However, he mostly had the power, but not the Beyonder powers. He needed the right supporting item to help him. After putting down Botus's characteristic, he cast his gaze at Botus's remaining eyeballs. I don't know what we're gonna do with the eyeballs, but I'm interested for sure. How'd What? I think you're confusing two different things, Bullseye. Four fours in the junk pile. True. You know what? You know what? It is what it is. Fours. We'll get you out eventually. No rush. It matters if you're new. Oh, cool. Although, it's not even on my resume, Kami. It literally doesn't even matter. Nagito, we can read further, but like it depends what's the... It depends what's the next good place to end. Gee, how's it going, man? The pupil of Botus's eye had already turned black, as though they were frozen in a look of indescribable fear. It made Klein's heart palpitate when he saw it, as though he could feel the intense change in Botus's emotions. After a series of inspections, together with divination, he confirmed that these two eyeballs didn't contain any characteristics, but they contained a strong corruptive force and a power that came from an unknown source. The Great Old One. It could be used as a medium for curses, and it could directly affect the target. It was rather dangerous spiritual material with an extremely long expiry date. I can't bring it with me for long, otherwise I might be weakened mentally. Klein summoned a square box and placed the eyeballs inside. He didn't attempt to purify them, because once the item was shattered, there would be nothing left. Due to the fact that there was nothing wrong with the Worms of Star, and that it was also a material that Klein understood the most, he turned his attention back to the black pocket. Arthur, we will see. Nightstream maybe, but I also want to work on videos, so maybe not. I don't know. The result of the divination surprised him because it was a so-called interspatial object. The pocket had only the size of an adult man's palm, but in fact, it was the size of two-bedroom apartments that the Moretti family lived in Tingen at the very beginning. Big enough to hold many items. It was made by Botus using the powers of a secret sorcerer. In essence, the pocket wasn't an object, but an entrance. First, a region in the spirit world is distorted and isolated, then the chaos created when the spirit world overlaps with reality. As long as there are proper coordinates, one can directly reach their destination, opening the door to that hidden area and entering the pocket space. Very similar to the method needed for sealing the box of the Great Old One. 1390 is a great place to stop. You know what, Vershawn? Let's just do 1432 or whatever that is at that point, right? Let's just get it done with. However, one door is in the spirit world, while the other is in the real. This results in a sealed artifact or a mystical item inside this interspatial pocket to affect the wielder. From the looks of it, it doesn't seem to be of much use, as it can't eliminate negative effects. Besides, I'm in the Forsaken Land of the Gods and can't connect to the spirit world. There is no use to having such a pocket. Also, I have to reinforce the power of space concealment from time to time. Otherwise, it will gradually lose its effectiveness. It's only suitable for demigods of the Apprentice pathway, or an organization that has demigods of that pathway, or artifacts. I miss so many streams. Work was really just... that sucks, gee. What do you thought about demigod level powers of the Apprentice? Apprentice pathway seems really cool, Pushkar, but it seems like their damage output, even at higher levels, seems minimal. Which is like they still don't seem to have anything that I would consider like, oh, like okay, they could do a lot of damage. Like I just don't like they could teleport around. Like what do you? The name Interspatial Pocket is so lame. I wonder how Botas named this item. Let's call it Traveler's Bag. Oh yeah, I guess record. Oh, I guess record. Yeah. Oh, you come in, you aggravate someone, record their powers, teleport out, and then do that to like a shit ton of, and then do that to a shit ton of Beyonders, and then just, you're good. Wallflower, Roy, how's it going, guys? Seer has like a literal insta-kill ability. It's insane. Pitter-patter. A bunch of gems poured out as a fake hand was retracted and landed on the long model table. The crystal clear red, blue, green, white, and black gems instantly filled his eyes. I should have predicted this. The materials of the apprentice pathway are gems. All the gems. The expression on Klein's face turned spirited as he sighed. He reached out his hand and picked up the few gems to feel the weight and texture. Apart from these, there were also quite a number of spiritual materials in the traveler bag. Some were commonly used while others were rare. Klein! Klein! Get in the car! We need to go pawn these gems now! We need more money! But sir, we're in the forsaken land of the god. We're in the land forsaken by gods. Like there's no pawn shops here. Get in the fucking car, Morty! We're gonna sell this shit! The box of the Great Old Ones and the Secret Sorcerer's characteristic, 9 Worms of Star, Botas's eyeballs, Traveler's Bag, and a large number of gems and material. Quite a harvest. Unfortunately, Botas had the ability to record powers and certain states. There's no need for him to bring around many artifacts or items with him. This would result in many negative effects. As a demigod, he should have a few good sealed artifacts. I wonder if they're hidden somewhere in the spirit world or at the Aurora Order headquarters. It's a pity that Botas' soul had just collapsed, preventing me from channeling the spirit, his spirit. Klein shook his head, found a spot, and put down the lantern and set up a bestowment ritual. He wanted to see if he could bring 061 to the Forsaken Land of the Gods. If he could attempt to transform the entire City of Silver into toys, place them on the first level of the artifact, send it to the outside world through a sacrifice and bestowment ritual. This way, bypass the Giant King's court and Sasriar, and ingeniously complete the Miracle Invoker ritual. Nagato, fuck you. How did you even know that was Rick and Morty, huh? You don't have to kill the enemy to record. Exactly. Money aside, would you really want the money you put aside? After performing a series of tasks, Klein was done with the preparations as he reached out his right hand and pulled out another himself before his actual body leapt into the fog of history and hid in the void of time. Like, even this is so fucking confusing. What do you... Like, he pulled himself out from the historical void. Got it, no problem. And then hid in a void of time before the first epoch. Like, what the fuck? Okay, for everyone saying that I spoiled, I just have to show you this, otherwise you guys are gonna annoy the fuck out of me. So this was a little sketch that they made up before Rick and Morty ever actually came out. This is never in any shows, this is never anywhere, so it's not spoilers, but all the same, it's very funny.
Morty! Morty!
Oh, Rick!
Get in the car, Morty! Get in the car!
Oh, Rick, I was asleep. I was having a little Morty sleep.
Morty! Get in the damn car now! Get in here!
Oh, why?
Get in the fucking car, Morty!
He's not coming with you. Leave him alone. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. He's sick of it. He's sick of the adventures.
Get in the fucking car, Morty!
You leave my brother alone.
Get out of here! You leave him alone! Get in the car!
Plus, Romero, not even that. Screw what you're saying. Look at, okay, Rick is supposed to be this fucking scientist who's like super skinny and intelligent and whatever. Look at his hand. He's got fucking Popeye hands. Look at this guy. Get in the fucking car, Morty. Oh god, so good. Why did you spoil the... Oh my god, oh my god. I know Pushkar's rage baiting me, but it actually works, which is the frustrating part. I'm just more mad at myself that it fucking works. Kill me, dude. Oh god. Spinach. The hand indicates that it's shut the fuck. Remember that time Rick got jacked? When was that? He was worried that the box of the Great Old Ones would cause a random death at any moment. The fragments of light deep in the grayish-white fog, Klein took four steps counterclockwise and returned above the gray fog. After the mysterious ancient door of sacrifice and bestowment took form, he opened it, waved his hand, and summoned the box of the Great Old Ones, throwing it into the gap of the illusory door. I have seen that one, Varshan. It's fucking hilarious. At that moment, the void's darkness suddenly became corporeal, as though it became an invisible barrier that blocked the hand that had just opened. It floated in mid-air, unable to move forward. Klein frowned slightly as he watched the scene. He tried to stir the powers of the Sephira Castle to break the powers of an angel, to use the power at an angel level to push it forward, but he was unable to get the box to break through the barrier. Indeed, the Forsaken Land of the Gods is sealed. It's just that I'm closely related to Sephira Castle, so I could use it to respond. But even this cannot exceed a certain limit. Klein nodded, retrieved the box of the Great Old Ones, and threw it into the junk pile. Fuck! Oh, dude, we were so close. Then he conjured the world, Gearman, and got the fake person to give out the detailed information of the box of the Great Old One to Ma'am Hermit and Miss Justice. Dude, even the Sephira Castle can't bypass the Forsaken Land of the Gods. This is some crazy shit. This was to remind them to bring the box of the Great Old Ones back to the real world within 24 hours and release Fours. While doing so, Klein summoned Miss Justice. Klein informed Miss Justice to sacrifice some top-grade ice cream to the Snake of Fate Blessed, before praying for the bestowment of the box of the Great Old Ones. As for the Hermit, she didn't need to make any external requests due to having her brief luck. However, she needed to complete everything within a few minutes and sacrifice the box above the Grey Fog again. Backlund, in the border below Eastborough and the bridge area. Leonard, who was wearing red gloves and a black coat, was leading the team to check the scene. Oh my god, what I said is actually going to happen. Leonard's going to be here. He's like, oh, this Tarot Club organization is fascinating. It appears they show up at any moment to do what they wish, but are unable to be seen by the official Beyonders. They are fascinating. As the reserve force of the Church of the Evernight, they were undoubtedly filled with energy at nearly 10 in the night. Captain, there's some serious cracks on the wall here. Some of the walls have been shattered completely. This apartment might not hold after the hurricane season next summer. Cindy came over and reported to Leonard. Leonard scanned the area and nodded. Thankfully, this place is dangerous to begin with and has been abandoned for a long time. But it's strange that tramps don't live here. Captain, do you mean that there are Beyonders using this apartment so they're secretly chasing away the tramps? And then they had the internal strife that developed into a battle. Something was ignited. That can't be ruled out, Leonard said. But have you noticed? Every place in this room has signs of corrosion. There's a lack of remnants left behind by tables and chairs that exist. It's too empty. This doesn't look like a low or mid-sequencer can create this. I suspect it might involve a higher power. After a series of inspections and discovering too many abnormalities, the Red Glove team under Leonard failed to find another clue. They could only return to the cathedral. Just as they arrived underground, a bishop came looking for Leonard and asked him to bring 2 members upstairs. Leonard nodded and led Bob and Cindy through the secret passage. Following that, they followed the spiral staircase under the illumination of the crimson moonlight. They arrived in a room with many people. With just one glance, Leonard realized there were a number of people who had worked with him before, from the Punishers, from the Hive Mind, and MI9. Then he noticed 3 demigods, Hormick Hayden, Randall Valentinius, and Anthony Stevenson, as well as a black-haired, golden-eyed man who was clearly at the same level. Without waiting for Leonard's greeting, St. Anthony stood up and said, "There was a high-level battle in the outskirts of Backland. There was a terrifying contamination present, as well as a tarot card. The Hermit. I noticed that you've done some investigations regarding a large number of incidents involving tarot cards. You've also raised a corresponding theory. Now give everyone a detailed introduction." The Hermit card? Leonard's expression showed true astonishment. He walked to the blackboard and turned to face the demigods and the beyonders of the churches and drew a crimson moon on his chest and said, "In the past 2 or 3 years, the incident involving the tarot cards have really caught our attention because of the death of Lanavis. He was embroiled in a conspiracy that attempted to allow the true creator's descent, and his body was covered in tarot cards." Pushkar, Mage Arena is so fun, but it was only 3 of us playing. I think if we could get like more people, like more than like 6 or 7, it would become so chaotic. It'd be so fucking fun. Back then, I linked these matters to an organization that believed in the Fool in Backland. No, wait, sorry. After that, the tarot cards appeared again on the Capim case. However, this time, there was a change of the arrangement of cards. It emphasized Judgment and Emperor. Back then, I linked these matters to an organization that believed in the Fool in Backland. As you know, the Fool is the starting card of the tarot cards. This bold guess made several demigods and beyonders nod. They felt that this might indeed be related on some mysticism level. Leonard paused and said, "And the Fool. This organization might have a number of official Beyonder members. They use tarot cards as names, such as Judgment, Emperor, the Hermit, or of this instance, hold on, I want to redo that." Leonard paused before continuing, "And before the Fool, this organization might have a number of official members. They use tarot cards as codenames, such as Judgment, Emperor, or the Hermit from this incident." As he spoke, Leonard picked up a deck of cards that he had used as a demonstration and randomly picked one. He glanced at it and chuckled, such as, "The Star." Oh, my man's aura farming. Just for the sake of it. What a guy. What a fucking guy. Are you kidding me? That's so goated. Fuck yeah. Like, oh, he's like, I don't know who he is, but this star, he's gonna get up to some big stuff. He hasn't done much right now, but he's gonna get up to some stuff. I know it. Devil, how's it going, man? Ah, oh, so professional. This is like me at my current job, trying to sneak in like ways that I already have another job and I'm gonna leave soon. I'm like, haha. Did you guys know this other bank is fantastic? Or so I've heard. Did you know it'd be so cool to work from home? So I've heard. Scammer get scammed, buddy. Devil, that's so mean. What is that? What is that question, bro? What? Guys, trust me, the star guy, we haven't heard from him yet, but I have a feeling he's gonna get he's based. Devil, we're gonna need a lot more detail. The demigod and Beyonders present nodded at Leonard's demonstration, indicating they understood. Bullseye, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, I'm so fucking stupid. I'm so fucking stupid, dude. I don't know why I read that. Oh my god. As soon as I read it, I went, oh, I'm so cooked. One of the Punishers raised his hand and took the opportunity to ask. In other words, whoever left the tarot card behind is the member executing the mission? That should be the case, Leonard said. What do the tarot cards that were scattered over Lanavis' corpse mean then? There's no specific direction. Leonard picked up a white chalk and drew the name Lanavis, and then drew a circle. I've said that in the past 2 to 3 years, the matter involving the tarot cards have really caught our attentions because of the Lanavis case. It was likely the beginning of everything. Therefore, without a specific direction, the casually scattered tarot cards might refer to the whole, meaning the organization that uses tarot cards as a whole has stepped onto the stage of history. Please, forgive me for using the poetic words. Ah, that makes sense. The Punishers were convinced. Oh yeah, you're right. Luvion isn't here. Oh, thank the heavens. Oh my god. We can tell your favorite character in Rick and Morty. Bullseye, tell me. Please, I'm so curious. Who do you think it is? Therefore, nope. Leonard looked around and continued. Let me use the Aurora Order, which everyone is familiar with as a comparison. We all know that there are 22 oracles of the Aurora Order, each of them in charge of a region's affair. It's possible that the organization with the tarot cards is the same. The members of the like of Judgment, Emperor, and Hermit should have their own factions. They will exert their influence in a particular region. Upon hearing this, a hive mind member pondered and asked. However, the 3 members corresponding to Judgment, Emperor, and Hermit have all appeared in Backland. According to what you said, doesn't that mean that the organization that uses tarot cards as codenames are still lacking in scale, since all the members are present in Lone? Or perhaps even just the Backland area? After all, Backland's person in charge for the Aurora Order is one oracle. As for Saint Tenebris, he's in charge of the entirety of Lone. That possibility cannot be ruled out. After all, this is an organization that recently appeared in the last 2 to 3 years. Wrong, Bullseye. Completely wrong. However, there may be other reasons. This organization might not be... There we go. Of course, there may be other reasons. This organization might not be divided based on location. Instead, they determine by whether or not they can handle an area alone. They will work together depending when needed. Seeing that the official Beyonders of the 3 churches and MI9 didn't raise any further questions, Leonard deliberated for a few seconds before saying, "Next up will be all my personal guesses. There are some problems with them, but this may be a direction for investigation for the future." Lyola, Snowball is a great guess, but no, not quite. My favorite character is Jaguar. If they are like the Aurora Order, the first question is, what is the purpose of this organization? If they are like the Aurora Order, with the goal to spread the faith of an evil god, why haven't we discovered the people who believe in the Fool? And even if they're all people who are scamming others in the name of the Fool. Second question. What do they have in common with the few operations? I haven't been able to find out yet. Birdman Supreme... Okay, Birdman is kind of base though. The third question is that I have a high-level member... The third question I have is that the high-level members who use tarot clubs as codenames are not of low sequences and have their own factions. However, they aren't famous in the Beyonder world at all. This is abnormal. After all, although the 22 oracles of the Aurora Order hide their identities, they have more or less crossed paths with us. They rose up from low sequences to mid and high sequences under our watch, eventually taking up spots as oracles as their predecessors die or advance. If the organization that uses the tarot card as its codename is really an organization that believes in the Fool, then there is someone who can answer my third question. He is the crazy adventurer Gehrman Sparrow. Rumor has it he too believes in the Fool. This made all Beyonders fall silent. They had long heard that Gehrman had a mysterious background, he believed in the Fool, and they had obtained quite a bit of information on him, but had never made any connection like Leonard did. After a few seconds, the Archbishop St. Anthony stood up. Gehrman Sparrow seems to be in close contact with the original death console of Balaam. That is an angel who is still active over the land. Dude, imagine an entire room of Beyonders, and like 4 or 5 demigods, and they're all going, Gehrman, we've heard of him, he's terrifying. Oh, Klein's aura is crazy. This gave the Beyonders, who weren't even demigods, a fright, as they instinctively stand up. They all knew about Admiral Hell, but due to the confidential restriction, they didn't know that the Death Console represented a grounded angel. That Death Console doesn't seem to belong to any faction of the Numinous Episcopate, a member from MI9 said. Perhaps he is a member of the secret organization that uses the tarot card as a codename, the Death Card. Leonard said. There was another round of silence. Everyone had to admit that it was possible. In short, Gehrman is a clue. Your Grace, ladies and gentlemen, I am done. St. Anthony nodded and stood up. Up to now, the secret organization that uses tarot cards hasn't targeted us, showing us a level of friendliness. And now that the war situation is tense, we are lacking in manpower, making it difficult for us to take major action. So I suggest we try to avoid conflict with them, and not attempt to eradicate them for the time being. Sounds good, Pushkar. I appreciate you popping by, man. Dude, imagine. You guys are so dumb. You guys are like, oh, so what did the Tarot Club do? So they killed Lanavis, who we were trying to kill, but he was escaping. He killed Capim, who I guess they kind of were okay with because he was helping the king, but he was a child trafficker, so fuck him. So like, and they killed a member of the Aurora Order. I feel like the churches should be like, yo, we need to get into contact with the Tarot Club because these guys are goated and woaded. Of course, we have to do what we need to do. A secret organization with the existence of a grounded angel itself represents danger. If we don't understand it or grasp enough information, we won't be able to react in time. Everyone nodded. Anthony looked around and looked at Leonard. This investigation will be led by you. Coordinate it well. No! Actually, dude, I'm a fucking prophet. I called all of this. Stop, I called this yesterday. Oh my god. Oh my god. And the fact that Leonard is doing this, and he's gonna be like, guys, I'm trying to find an organization with so many demigods. I need to become a demigod myself, or I'm cooked. And they're gonna be like, damn, kind of makes sense. Give him the sequence 4. Oh my god. At this moment, Randall Valentinius stood up. Give them a name. We can't keep calling them the secret organization that uses tarot cards as a code name. It's quite a mouthful. What suggestions do you have? Please say them, please. Yes! Yes! Leonard stood up. The Tarot Club? That works. Let's call it the Tarot Club, Randall stood up and said. Late at night in the Empress Burrow in the Hall family's villa, the exclusive dessert chef, Tim, suddenly woke up from his dream and stared at the ceiling in darkness. He just dreamt that he was enjoying an ice cream and had just woken up when he ate it. He said the thing! Oh my god! Mom! Get the camera! He had just nope, already read. The more he thought about it, the more intense his craving became. In the end, he overcame his feeling that it was trouble and got out of bed, putting on a thick sleeping robe and walked out of the room to the pantry. As a slightly famous dessert chef in aristocratic circles, Tim was given special privileges by the Earl. He could enter the pantry at any time and use the ingredients here to test new ideas. Meanwhile, Tim had repeatedly returned to the Earl's trust with high-quality desserts. Of course, he would often appear in the pantry due to midnight cravings, just like now. After some serious hard work, Tim used the remains and prepared ingredients to make a few cups of ice cream and ate half. He then patted his stomach, washed the cutlery, and left the pantry. The few remaining cups of ice cream were left in the corner, as if they had been forgotten. Audrey's so clever, she gave him that dream so that he could make extra ice cream so that she could give it to Will. Oh, Audrey, my goat, dude. Audrey, my actual goat. Dude, I would use... Dude, okay, I don't eat a lot of sweets because I generally don't like them, but I love ice cream. I would use this power I would use this power for nothing but evil. I'd just be like, make me ice cream. It's 3 in the morning. Make me ice cream, motherfucker. Ice cream now. In Sherwood Borough, by the Tussock River, in an uninhabited, shallow flat, wearing a dark-colored cloak, Audrey made the first use of dream traversal to arrive nearby. She skillfully set up the ritual and prayed to Mr. Fool. Soon, a silver-black accessory box embedded with many gems tore through the illusory door and landed in front of Audrey. Audrey tucked away a wisp of blonde hair behind her ear and picked up the box of the Great Old One. Without any delay, she aimed at a few rocks and pulled open the first layer. Silently, numerous long tables and chairs appeared messily in the area. Several Beyonders that had used various means to conceal their faces appeared. One of them was Fours. Their skin quickly changed from that of a toy to that of a human. Fours, who had the highest sequence, recovered the fastest as she looked around, extremely surprised to find that she had unknowingly come to a flat by the side of a river. Furthermore, this change was only limited to her overall area. Where am I? What the hell happened? Has the matter ended? Fours asked Audrey. Yes, Audrey replied. Ah, oh, thank God. Fours was relieved. How's the target? He's dead. Audrey was multitasking as she controlled the other 6 Beyonders. He's dead. Boat has died. I didn't even participate. I didn't summon Gehrman. Fours felt like she was dreaming. McSeely, how's it going, man? Yeah, no worries. Glad to have you. She only felt that she'd been terrified for a second and dazed for a moment, but the mission was already completed. At this moment, she saw the surrounding Beyonders come to life, but they didn't show any surprise towards the change in environment. As though it was as if the gathering was being held here. They skillfully destroyed the chairs and long tables and threw them into the Tussock River. Wow, littering, making the fucking river dirty, Audrey. How could you? One after another, they returned home under the illumination of street lamps. This is a manipulator. How terrifying, Fours thought. Returned first, Audrey didn't have time to explain. She turned around and used the altar from before, preparing to sacrifice the box of the Great Old Ones above the Great Fog. Fours shot a glance. Audie, how's it going, man? When you say you're at chapter 379, does that mean, like, you're at chapter 379, like you haven't finished Lord of the Mysteries? Or do you mean, like, my read-through, you're at chapter 379? Because if it's the former, you need to get out of here, because you're going to get spoiled on so much. If it's the latter, happy to have you. How you doing? Fours shot a glance, but she didn't ask anything. She made her body turn transparent as she vanished. Author's note. The title of this chapter originally should have been Official Debut, but it was just not serious enough. Ah, Cuttlefish. Ever the self-critic. Harvest Church? Oh, good lord. Apologies. Oh. Or, oh, 379 of COI also, maybe, I guess. So close. Be like another 2 weeks. In the ancient palace above the grey fog, dark red starlight shot up, forming several figures. Leonard did a casual glance, and his gaze suddenly froze in the silver-black jewelry box in front of him. As he recalled, this was likely a Grade Zero sealed artifact, the box of the Great Old One that the world, Clyde, had specially emphasized. The Saint of Secrets was really in control of a Grade Zero artifact, and he used it? And yet they succeeded. Leonard couldn't believe his eyes. As an official Beyonder, a Red Glove's captain, he knew the Grade Zero sealed artifacts well. He knew these items could easily destroy a city, causing people to suddenly die without putting up any resistance. When facing them, not only was contact with them impossible, but even understanding them was something that should be reduced. Leonard believed that Ma'am Hermit and Miss Justice would use the battlefield according to the plan after encountering a Grade Zero sealed artifact, would leave the battlefield according to the plan. They would then think of a way to rescue Miss Magician. To his surprise, they succeeded all the same. Ma'am Hermit's mystical reenactment has reached such an incredible level? Yes, Varshan, she's Sequence 4. Did the Feast of Betrayal she mentioned really make the sealed artifact rebel? Or could it be that Mr. Fool provided some help? Leonard muttered silently as he looked at the world, discovering that his colleague was calm. Klein surveyed the area and said, "Congratulations, everyone. The hunt this time was successful. All the spoils of war are here." As he spoke, he raised his right hand, condensing various bits of mysterious knowledge into a pale luster, and also including a small number of legends that came from the east, such as Peach Blossom Spring and Lonk's Go Match. I don't know what any of these are. He wanted Ma'am Hermit to test if they were mystical or not. "Ma'am, this is your reward." The world made the pale white light fly towards the hermit. He then pointed at the box of the Great Old Ones, the beyond the secret sorcerer characteristic, the traveler's luggage, Botas's eyeballs, 9 worms of star, and a large number of gems and materials. In addition, you have the right to choose first. After the battle of the demigod, at the demigod level, Cattleya finally found her bearings and confidence. She received the first pale white glow and closed her eyes to digest the knowledge. In the second era, the ancient gods believed that the original creator, the oldest one, left some objects behind. Perhaps it was a kingdom formed from a portion of his body, or something he created. There are 9 of these that contain the various Sephiroth. The Chaos Sea, the Sephira Castle, River of Eternal Darkness, Knowledge Moor, Tenebrous World, Brood Hive, Nation of Disorder, City of Calamity, and Key of Light. Wait. 6, 8. Wait, how do we know all 9 now? What? How do we know all 9? What? Okay. I'm not gonna ask. It's fine. We just... Mine's just casually dropping fucking hot knowledge. What? All 9 Sephiroths. Sephiroth. All 9 Sephiroths. The ancient sun god came from a place known as Chernobyl. Which one has the best name? So Chaos Sea, not River of Eternal Darkness is hard as fuck. Tenebrous World, no. Brood Hive, Nation of City of Calamity, and Key of Light. In my mind, it's between River of Eternal Darkness and City of Calamity. I feel like those two are fucking hard as fuck. The Marauder Pathway Sequence 0 is called Error. Emperor Roselle's fairy tales might have originated from something that happened before. As the mysticism knowledge resonated in her, Cattleya couldn't help but open her eyes to look at the world. There were too many things that shocked her, making her realize she had opened the door to a whole nother world. I never thought of Mr. Fool's origins. Now I can vaguely understand. A thought flashed through Cattleya's mind. She immediately controlled herself. She didn't want to think too much, nor did she dare to think too deeply about it. She was afraid she would come up with an answer that was enough to make her lose control. This is one of the 9 Sephiroth. Mr. Fool's goal is to gather all the Sephiroth and attempt to recover. This is probably going to end up being true now, because now that she said that. But why the fuck would he want all 9 Sephiroth? Why would he want all the Sephiroths? Raising her right hand, she nudged her glasses. Cattleya forced herself to focus. Gotta catch 'em all. And decided to return to the real world to fully digest her potion before attempting to create magic with them. Senta, you're still here. How's it going, man? Allowing her to draw on their powers for mystical reenactment. Of course, she also believed that not every one of them would succeed. She believed that a portion of these stories were fabricated. After all, this was a gift from Mr. World. There was no guarantee they would be effective. After all, out of the many fairy tales and ancient legends that Emperor Roselle had recounted to Queen Mystic, only a few of them produced magic. I'm lurking doing errands. Sounds good, man. She took a few seconds to compose herself and retracted her gaze. Without a doubt, the most eye-catching object was 061. Cattleya wasn't too unfamiliar with Grade Zero artifacts because Queen Mystic had more than one. It was also because of this reason that the Queen's Element Dawn was able to compete with the ancient organization, Moses Ascetic Order. The gap between an angel and a saint was not something the magic of a powerful fairy tale could make up for. Oh my god, you know what Klein should do? He doesn't know about it yet, but he should probably reach out to, once he learns of it, he should reach out to Queen Bernadette and say, hey, do you want to trade your lamp for my Grade Zero sealed artifact? You still get to keep a Grade Zero sealed artifact, but you can't use a lamp anymore because you have no more wishes to use on it. So I get 2 wishes, because apparently Roselle said that the third one is like really dangerous, so you don't want to use anything past 2. Oh my god, that'd be so clever. And then Klein could get 2 wishes. He could just be like, I wish to have the power. I wish to know the location of the sequence 2 characteristic. Goes and gets it. Takes it, digests it. I wish to know the location of the sequence 1 characteristic. Goes it, gets it. Isn't fucking sequence 1 now. It's like, oh shit. Oh my god, we're killing it. To truly become a powerful figure, one had to advance to a sequence 2 or possess a Grade Zero sealed artifact. It wasn't that Cattleya didn't have any desire for the box, but when she thought of the hint that the world received from the Fool, the terrifying negative effects, she felt a sense of horror. Although she had brief luck, she still lacked the ability to seal the box. After an intense struggle, she said, I want the Sorcerer's Secrets characteristic. No, that was for 4s. Shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't want her to take the box, obviously, but... if they could find a suitable artisan, it could be transformed into an amazing artifact. One that barely had negative effects. Queen Bernadette happened to have the resources to do so. In the end, even if there's only teleportation, that'll be plenty. However, it's obvious that a secret sorcerer wouldn't be able to grasp teleportation, even if the negative effects are excessive. I can get Queen Mystic to shatter it and try it again, or sell it to Queen Magician. Oh, Dorian did say he has the ingredients. Oh, true, you're right. Yes, she said that her teacher would prepare the ingredients for her. Following that, Cattleya nodded at the world. Choosing the secret sorcerer characteristic? Following this, a scene appeared in Klein's mind. Wearing a purple patterned dark robe, the lady wearing a dark colored hood relied on Blink to leave behind many doppelgangers. The little match girl will turn into countless witches selling matchsticks. A horrifying fairy tale. Alright, it's your turn, he looked at Miss Magician. I didn't do anything, Force said. You were bait. Successfully. She wanted to choose the Box of the Great Old Ones because it was an item from her teacher's family, but she didn't want to use it herself. However, considering she was only bait, she felt that she wasn't qualified to take an item of this level. Grade 0 artifacts were rare, precious, and dangerous. With this in mind, she chose under Gehrman's watch, pointed at the eyeballs and said, I will take them. She wanted to bring the pair of eyeballs to her teacher and tell him that Botus was dead. It was an end to all that hatred. Kinda based. In addition to the value of the item, Botus's eye could be made into a powerful hex item or used as a medium for a curse. Klein nodded slightly and didn't persuade her. He only pointed at the gems, materials, and the Worms of Star and said, You also paid the price for the moon paper figurine. You can choose something else as well. Alright. As the apprentice pathway needed gems for several rituals, Forrest took a portion of the gems. He then looked at Misjudgment and said, It's your turn. She said, I'll choose the Traveler Bag. This is so goated. Dude, I'm so fucking surprised that no one else chose the Traveler's Bag. I would love that. Like an infinite inventory. Like, imagine, like you're fighting someone, you are fighting them with a sword or whatever, the sword breaks, and the guy's like, haha, I've got you now. And you're like, you pull out a second sword, and the guy's like, that's kind of fucking weird, but you know, okay, whatever, no problem. Fighting him again, the sword breaks again, and he's like, oh, I've got you now, you're so cooked. And you're like, pulls out a third sword, and the guy's like, what the fuck is going on here? But I've been a week but I'm already sleepy. The Arabic class drained me. It needs to be reformed with the power of a prep. Yeah, we could just get Miss Magician to do, or Miss Magician to do that. No problem. This way she could carry heavy weapons with her and might even be able to pull out a cannon. What the fuck? As for the problem of strengthening the hidden space after a period of time, she considered it. After all, it could still be used for about a year. In the future, she could rent the artifact from Ma'am Hermit to maintain it. Furthermore, at that time, Forrest might already be a secret sorcerer. Klein nodded and looked at the star. It's your turn. Leonard didn't stand on ceremony. He scanned the area and said, 3 Worms of Star, 20 gems, and those ingredients. I feel like I'm paying protection fees to these organizations. After lampooning his dear poet, Klein turned to Miss Justice and said, the mission was successful. I'm incredibly satisfied. Although you have already received your payment, you can choose more. Audrey could decipher the sincerity of the world's words. Without any excuse, she chose a Worm of Star and a third of the spiritual materials. I know, Leonard didn't do fuck all. At the same time, the mission's commissioner, the world, had obtained 5 Worms of Star, a grade 0 sealed artifact, a third of the spiritual materials, and nearly 30 high-quality gems. He smiled at Fours. Remember to tell your teacher about this. Just say that it is a gesture of my goodwill, and that I wish to make a deal with him. Alright, Fours replied. Audrey getting special treatment? No, Audrey gets special treatment because she is the best girl in the Tarot Club. Until my queen Sharon joins. Then it's all over. Then it's Gojo over for real. I'm still holding out hope, okay? Don't judge me. Life is meaningless without hope. Change music at the end of this chapter? Yeah, sure, no problem. What music, Kami? Bors wasn't surprised by the world's request. She replied, alright, what kind of deal is it exactly? During this period of time, she had communicated with her teacher several times. The world laughed. You don't have to tell him what I want now. Just lay out my chips for him and see if he's interested. Your bargaining chip is still the promise to break the curse? It could also be the box of the Great Old Ones. An item used to exchange for a grade 0 artifact can't be simple. Everyone had such a realization. Alright, Forrest replied. When you read, he left St. Samuel Cathedral and returned to 7 Pinster Street. I'll tell you the music then. Alright, sounds good, Kami. Thank you. Backland, Westboro, in the basement of a house, or one. In second, Saint Tenebris, who was hiding in the shadows, grew out of the darkness. He turned his head as though he was listening to something. The muscles on his cheeks began to twitch. It wasn't just one chunk of flesh, but bits. Not only were they not connected to each other, but they were also interfering with each other. In seconds, Kizma wore an extremely painful expression as his skin tore apart, as flesh and blood beneath squirmed. With a thud, he fell to the ground and prostrated himself before the altar, vomiting out large amounts of organs and shimmering light. Saint Tenebris' head was pressed tightly against the ground as he crazily muttered, "Botas actually died. A secret sorcerer who wields a grade 0 sealed artifact died like that?" There's a tarot card, the Hermit. The two enemies that attacked were saints. One was a mysticologist, while the other a manipulator. The organization that believes in the Fool and uses tarot cards as a code name. Gearman Sparrow, Azek Eggers. After an uncontrollable murmur, Kismuth cried, feeling both vexed and pained. I repent! I repent! A few days later, in an apartment room in Pritz Harbor, Dorian Gray received a letter from Fours. He examined it carefully and confirmed there were no issues. After that, he took out the letter with the help of a letter knife. The beginning of the letter was the usual greeting. Following that, Fours wrote, "We have already killed Saint of Secrets Botas and have obtained the items on his person." Dorian planned on scanning through the letter, but was stuck on this sentence. Dorian knew how powerful Botas was, and how terrifying a secret sorcerer was. But now, the new student he had been teaching for over a year had told him in a calm tone that Botas was taken care of. In an instant, the only thing that echoed in Dorian's mind were the thoughts of impossible, lie, conspiracy. He suspected that Fours was already being controlled by the Aurora Order. Any major faction, a Sequence 4 Beyonder, were absolute upper echelons and were extremely important members. How could they be killed so easily? Dorian's throat bobbed up and down as he continued reading. "We have obtained the Box of the Great Old Ones. I believe you aren't unfamiliar with it." In that instant, it felt as though the letter in Dorian's hand was as heavy as a boulder. Of course he wasn't unfamiliar with the Box of the Great Old Ones. This was a grade 0 artifact of the Abraham family, proof that they had once been glorious. Varshan! Alright, you have a good night, man. Have fun at college tomorrow? Let us know how it goes, man. The one that was killed by Botas, who possessed the Box of the Great Old One. Dorian's shock kept rising. He felt that these things had gone beyond his imagination. On the other hand, he felt that there was a possibility that it wasn't impossible. Perhaps the one who killed Botas was the Box of the Great Old Ones. He knew how terrifying that artifact could be. Have fun at college is absolutely not an oxymoron, Hope. Why do you think it is that almost everyone says that college is like the best time of your life? Because like it's so fucking dope. You just kind of do whatever. You don't have any responsibilities. You can go to class, but you don't have to. Like it's fucking awesome, dude. Absolutely. He knew very well. At the same time, he finally noticed that word, "we." This was the first time Forrest has indicated that she had companions. Of course, Dorian had already guessed it, but he couldn't call her out. Maxilia, are you saying that to me or them? Indeed, Dorian sighed and read the rest. I have a friend who wishes to show you his goodwill by pushing for this operation against Botas. He said that he wishes to make... I got no... Ah, shit, that sucks, McSeely, I'm sorry. He said that he wants to make a deal with you and is willing to use the Box of the Great Old Ones or a promise to remove the Abraham family's curse in exchange. He wonders if you'd be interested. He doesn't even know where you are, and I won't tell him. You can totally refuse. A promise to remove the curse? Dorian skipped over the box and ruminated over that last part of that sentence. After the first few letters, he finally understood the true nature of the family's curse. It was both a sorrowful and helpless matter. Before this, who would have thought that the person who caused the descendants of the family to lose control was their ancestors' cry for help? A cruel joke of fate. Dorian didn't know if Mr. Dorr knew of the consequences of his actions, nor did he know how to describe his complicated feelings. However, he couldn't help but start searching for a way to make Mr. Dorr return. Bro, can you imagine how fucking quickly the Abraham family's fortunes would be looking up? Like, everything's on like a steep decline. It's like everything's goge over. Mr. Dorr shows up the next day. They're like, oh shit. We got the guy closest to being a god. What's up, motherfucker? Bring it. It's not like I'm an outcast. My college just has no social scene aside from the point of view I hate clubs stuff. McSeely, I know. Are you still in college or are you finished? I'm curious. This was a path that had a slim hope, but for the Abraham family, it was enough. After an unknown period of time, Dorian folded the letter and smiled to him bitterly. Goodwill. Such goodwill is frightening. Still in? Okay. Can I just recommend, I know that you find clubs like annoying and whatever. Go all the same. Pick a club that seems like the least annoying to you. I don't give a fuck what it is. Like, my school had everything. My school had like fucking fencing clubs and jiu-jitsu clubs and chess club and swimming club, like fucking everything club. Pick a club that you least hate and just go. Just go and just be open to it. I promise. You'll meet people and it's gonna make your whole shit so much better. I promise. It's just gonna make that whole experience so much fucking better. Just go. Jiu-jitsu club? No, we didn't meet Gojo. He was kind of crazy though. No, Jiu-Jitsu, no, Gojo was so high level we never saw him. Toto did make a brief appearance once. That was cool. He'd be talking and then he'd be like, guys, clap for me. And then he'd just be behind you. It was crazy. This guy was... Love that guy. After he muttered to himself, he fell into a silence again. His expression was gloomy as his heart was struggling. The sound of a wall clock rang punctually. Dorian snapped out of a daze. His expression gradually became solemn as he made a decision. After making up... God, this music is majestic. After making up his mind, Dorian smiled. He burned Forrest's letter, packed up his bags, and began to head out for the steam locomotive. He was going to Southville, not to hide, but to make preparations. Did Toto assault anyone? He would never do that. Did he meet Zero? Who's Zero? Oh, Zoro. No. Gecko Moria showed up though for very briefly. It was weird. He planned on handling all the family items and potion formulas, to one of the members who was staying there before returning to Pritz Harbor. With his identity as Dorian Gray, he would head to Backland to meet his student and the powerhouse who had shown goodwill. When the time came, he would consume a type of medicine in advance to allow himself to suffer a powerful curse rooted in his spirit body. He would have to regularly consume another type of medicine to maintain his life. This way, even if he was controlled and unable to commit suicide, he would quickly die. With his spirit body dissipating, he wouldn't leak any information. Bro, chill. Jesus Christ. Oh. Maxili, in that case, if you don't have clubs like that, just go to like a bar that everyone go, because there's always a bar near a college that everyone goes to. Just go there and just hang out. Just be open. Just go get a drink and just sit. You'll find people. Promise. From this journey, Dorian had put life and death aside. He was willing to sacrifice his life for that hope of his family. Northborough, beneath St. Samuel Cathedral. Leonard, who had just had a discussion with the members of the Punishers, Hive Mind, and MI9, returned to his office and sat down. At that moment, the slightly aged voice of Pallas Zoroast resounded in his mind. They finally found the exact location of the Jacob family's treasure trove and are about to enter. Huh? Leonard was stunned. Previously, at the gathering of the Hermits of Fate, he had sold the news of the Jacob family's treasure trove, as no one knew what was inside and no one was willing to offer a higher price. Leonard's main goal was not to trade, so he had only exchanged it for some rare spirits. He immediately lowered his voice and said, "Old man, how do you know that?" "It's a given that I sent out my avatar to monitor the area. Are you underestimating an angel?" "Old man, you've recovered quite well. You even have excess characteristics for an avatar?" "I'm already at the level of a sequence 2, Pallas scoffed. Next, don't go out. Just stay in the cathedral to prevent any accidents." "Oh, you jinxed him. Something's gonna happen now." "Yeah, come here, remember. Oh my god, Pallas Zoroast jinxed him. No, to prevent accidents? Oh, now an accident's gonna happen, you dumb bitch." "Are you worried that a trap lies within the treasure?" Leonard asked. "How can a treasure be left behind by a marauder angel and not have a trap?" "I can't predict what will happen, but staying in the cathedral is safe." "Let's hope everything goes smoothly. Old man, you promised me that if you can successfully obtain a Sequence 2 characteristic, you'll steal a Grade 1 artifact from the items they obtained for me." It wasn't that he was concerned about whether he would reap anything out of it. It was just to ease his anxiety. "Weren't you against stealing?" Pallas said. He then fell silent as though he was monitoring something. About an hour later, he heaved a sigh of relief. Although there were many traps and accidents, they eventually reached their target. I only took the characteristic and a sealed artifact. The rest will be their payment. Don't be in a hurry to leave this place. Wait till I absorb the characteristic. When that happens, there will be no problems. There will be no problems? Oh my god, this motherfucker, he's jinxing himself. Leonard immediately relaxed and leaned back, crossing his legs. In the evening, Pallas Zoroast spoke again. "It's done." His voice spoke with plenty of emotions, but it was complicated. Seeing that nothing had happened and that the old man might still need to digest, Leonard stood up, rubbed his temples, and left the St. Samuel Cathedral and returned to 7 Pinster Street. What music, Kami? What am I putting on? Is it a Discord? Let me check Discord. Oh, thank you, Meryl. Let's see, got it. Can't let any stream go by without it getting demonetized. God damn it, Kami. As he passed through the porch, he suddenly saw a man sitting on the sofa. The man was wearing a classic black robe and pointed hat. Amon! He placed his right leg over his left as though he was leisurely reading a newspaper. As if sensing Leonard's arrival, the man raised his head and adjusted the monocle on his right eye, smiled. Oh, we're so cooked. 1,000-year-old trap? Amon. Blasphemer. Amon. Leonard was no stranger to the person in front of him. Not only had he faced his avatar, he had heard many things about him from Palez. At that moment, Leonard's thoughts froze as his mind went blank. Amon's lips quivered as he muttered a raving that was completely at the level of a deity. One voice after another echoed in Leonard's mind as though it came from the countless numbers of Amon. Are you pleasantly surprised? Are you shocked? Realizing that I won't be able to get Sephira Castle anytime soon, I decided to shift my focus to Backlund. If it wasn't to fool all of you, why would I have played such a simple cat and mouse game with him? I think you two should be in contact. He must have told you that I'm still tracking him and sabotaging his operations, that I even set up a trap for him. That's just an avatar close to sequence 1. Ah, right, Palez. I forgot to tell you that in the later years of the 4th Epoch, I pretended to be an ancestor of the Jacob family. I long swallowed him in secret. I then watched his descendants panic. Then I thought of a way to add another secret treasure trove to the place where the Tudor became Blood Emperor. Oh my god. What are you supposed to do with this guy? Monocle? Yes, sir. Yes. Oh, the things I do for you guys. I didn't finish off these fellows because I had a premonition that this trove would be useful. I had an avatar that had been sleeping there for over 1,000 years, waiting for someone to open the trove. As the other avatars, I didn't synchronize this information to them. That way, I might be able to create a ruse at some point. Ah, this kind of synchronization is something I invented. Palez, you're quite behind the times. In order to confirm your whereabouts, I watched that bunch of fellows destroy the traps and take the items away. I watched your avatar steal the characteristic and artifact from their hands. I watched him carefully devour and digest it. And now, my patience has paid off. You must be thinking on how to stall for time to wait for a deity. No, I didn't attach the feather. There is a black feather here. But like... what was I gonna do with it? Sorry. These voices overlapped with each other, tearing through Leonard's thoughts and hurting his soul, making his head swell and contract. With these ravings alone, Leonard was about to lose control. This was an angel of the creator, a king of angels. At the same time, 7 Pinster Street had changed. At some point in time, pitch-black stone pillars were erected around them, propping up a majestic cathedral. Each column of the cathedral was embedded with bones of different races, as though they were densely packed with using different eye sockets to stare at the puny Leonard. Leonard looked in front of the cross that was more than 100 meters tall in the depths of the church, smiling. This corpse cathedral is pretty good, isn't it? I just stole it not too long ago. This way, even if they wish to discover any abnormalities and do a deity's descent, it can stall for at least 30 seconds. Oh, that's plenty. Bro, Palez is a sequence 2. You're telling me he's gonna get cooked this quickly? You can't last 30 seconds? Come on! Thank you, Bullseye. As he spoke, Amon raised his hand to pinch the monocle. Leonard heard a gong. It was ethereal, coming from infinity. This caused his ear-piercing ravings that tainted Leonard's spirit body to come to a stop. This caused in Leonard's eyes, the beams of light shot out from his body, condensing into a pure figure. This figure was also 100 meters tall, and its body constantly coruscating with a faint glow. With that, Leonard's body was pushed by an invisible force as he flew to the door of the cathedral. On the door, transparent, distorted faces appeared, sealed from the outside, isolating it from the spirit world and the astral world. Another bell rang. The transparent faces froze. Leonard's figure was no longer obstructed. In this short span of time, he had passed through the main door of the cathedral. Everything he saw returned to normal. There was still a bit of light up high in the sky. The gas lamps of the streets were already emitting light, illuminating 7 Pinster Street. Lower the music? Yeah, of course, no problem. Hopefully that's better. Let me know if it needs to be changed again. Everything he saw instantly returned to normal. From the outside, the building was quiet and dark. Old man. It was at this moment that Leonard finally realized his train of thought. His heart tightened as he strode forward, but the door to 7 Pinster Street was so heavy he couldn't open it. Before getting the new characteristic, Pallas was weak in Sequence 2. Now he has recovered to his original Sequence 1 level. I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but it was never stated for sure. With this obstruction, Leonard finally retracted as he thought what he could do. After that, he chanted in Jotun, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era." Walking through the darkness with a lantern in hand, Klein entered the historical void immediately. He then went above the great fog. He listened to Leonard's prayer, puzzled and nonchalantly looking. Klein sobered up. It was as if he had just woken up from hibernation. Amon's true body is in Backland? Amon's true body has found Leonard and Pallas. Amon stole the corpse cathedral from his brother and used it to delay a divine descent. So it turns out when he was suggesting to play a game of who will be the first to find the Wolf Kotar, he had never thought of deciding that on a winner. He didn't care what the stakes were. His goal was to draw away my attention and believe that he was still pursuing me. Many thoughts came through Klein's mind as he raised his hand and summoned 061, a grade 0 sealed artifact that was from the Apprentice pathway and could utilize the power of the Sephira Castle. I love how Klein gets a thing and is immediately like, oh, we're gonna use this bad boy. I don't know what I'd do without it. At the same time, through the prayer light, Klein confirmed that Leonard hadn't been possessed. He then instructed him, leave the scene and go to the cathedral and pray to the Evernight. A pinnacle sequence battle beneath the deities was not something that a Sequence 5 Beyonder could participate in. Even though Klein had gained some initial control of Sephira Castle and held 061, even he didn't have much confidence. He could only hope to stall for a deity. Outside 7 Pinster Street, Leonard heard Mr. Fool's words. He was stunned. He then turned around and rushed. A series of illusory mud surged out and sprayed onto the top of Leonard's head, enveloping him. Suddenly, Leonard seemed to transform into a mud doll as he began sinking. A rare, natural spirit he had exchanged from the Hermit of Fate. It didn't contain any characteristic, but its powers came from the spirit world. What the fuck is going on here? I mean, he can throw lightning, McSeely, just wouldn't do a fucking thing. It allowed Leonard to quickly traverse the soil at a speed faster than a steam metro. So he's probably the same speed as, like, Audrey, who was a Sequence 4. As Leonard left the battlefield, Klein had picked up the gem-embedded box, stirred the powers of Sephira Castle, and cast his gaze at the pitch-black church that overlapped. The cathedral isolated his true vision, preventing him from seeing the situation inside. Use 061's first level to trap its interior space and swap it? No, this is equivalent to letting Amon in Sephira Castle. Just the first level can't imprison him. Activate the second level and move the entire 7 Pinster Street somewhere? No, that won't work. Once we leave Backland, there won't be time for Divine Descent, and even more dangerous for Pallas. Third level, just opening it might lead to a switch in the owner of the castle. As his thoughts flashed through his mind, Leonard Klein came up with an idea. He wanted to narrow his target area to a tiny point and exert pressure to crack it. He wanted to exchange the Corpse Cathedral's door and the space in the first level of the Box of the Great Old Ones using Sephira Castle. If that was the case, the deities would realize the situation and accelerate the speed of their descent. At the end of the table, Klein sat in the high-backed chair and aimed at the crimson star representing Leonard as he opened the first level of the box. The surging power in Sephira Castle calmed down, returning to its usual concealment as it silently pierced through the star. I know, Klein is like, I own this thing, but like, bro, like, everyone wants to take it from me and they could all take it from me. I'm so cooked. In the real world, at 7 Pinster Street, the door of the cathedral that overlapped with the ordinary building lost its luster. It became a pool of light. The situation inside and outside cleared up, reflected in Klein's eye. In front of the cross that was 100 meters tall stood Amon. He held a crystal pillar formed from light and shadows in his hand. There were many 12-ringed worms of time swimming rapidly inside. Everything around seemed to stop. Amon raised his hand to the sky and smiled. So Ramiro, you want me to stop at 12:07? Is that right? Sly old foxes, every one of them. Okay, give me just 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I know this is a shit place for me to run out, but give me just 2 minutes. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm sorry, I'm back. Sorry, I was so hungry. I couldn't, like, I just literally couldn't, like, I don't even know if I was reading the last quarter. Because I was so hungry, like, I just couldn't even focus. Alright, we're back. Let's go. Yeah. Too late? After Klein's heart sank, he suddenly felt the box in his hand shake. He looked down and saw that the surface of the Corpse Cathedral door had shrunk into a toy, emitting rays of light. Every twisted face on the skull seemed to come alive. I thought you were going to... Yeah, I would just tell you guys if I had to take a piss. I'm so hungry. Because I had cereal in the morning and then I just started, and then I didn't eat anything else. Oh, I'm so hungry. Fuck. Amon's Corpse Cathedral has such a high level, it can withstand the first level of 061 with just a door. Without any hesitation, Klein used the Crimson Star representing Leonard and locked onto a gas lamp on 7 Pinster Street. Suddenly, the door with white bones protruding out with the distorted face returned to the real world, and on the first level of the box there was an additional toy. Right on the heels of that, Klein aimed at the Amon inside the Corpse Cathedral and swiped his right hand, opening the second level of the box. At that moment, Palez was no longer on the battlefield. Without any qualms, Klein could move Amon somewhere else. Where the fuck is Palez? Is Palez dead? He had designated the destination to be the Astral World, hoping that the 7 deities would show him their love. In this moment, the door opened to the Corpse Cathedral. Under the majestic door that was overlapped with 7 Pinster Street quickly disintegrated. The process of the collapse was organized. First it began from the dome, followed by the arches and the walls, and finally ended with a pitch-black stone pillar. Klein working from home. The item that fell didn't hit the ground, but simply disappeared. Standing in front of the cross, Amon also began to dissipate with the collapse of the cathedral. Of course, Klein knew very well. This was only Amon exploiting a loophole to use the expiration of the imagined cathedral so as to become a figment of imagination. At some point in time, a thick, dark cloud appeared in midair. A ball of lightning the size of a house dragged down a silvery white stream of light as it smashed into the Corpse Cathedral and Amon's body that hadn't disintegrated. A fine crack appeared on Amon's crystal as he pointed his hat on his head collapsed. However, the Angel of Time didn't panic. His face twitched, he maintained his smile, and held the crystal pillar formed from the light and shadows. He completely disintegrated as the sea of light that filled the cathedral also vanished. In the next second, the pitch-black, bone-embedded towering cathedral returned to the realm of fantasy. Amon is so goated. The only person who's going to be able to beat Amon is Klein when he becomes a Sequence 1-2. He's the only one. Because you have to relatively rival him in power, but you have to outsmart him, and the gods just can't or don't. Maybe the Evernight Goddess could, but I don't think she gives a fuck about him. Yeah, but Amon already said that Adam and Amon have like a tacit agreement to just stay out of each other's way. They're like, listen, we can fuck each other up, let's just not even bother. The house on 7 Pinster Street remained, but there were exaggerated marks on the living room floor. The mark was like a living person lying there, having turned to ash. This was left behind the countless avatars of Amon that were smote apart. However, Klein knew that Amon's true body had successfully escaped and achieved his goal. Yeah, the Corpse Cathedral, Amon had it. No, sorry, Adam had it in the square or whatever, at the end of Volume 5. Oh, you guys are saying, oh, Amon stole the cathedral from him, so maybe... Oh, so maybe they're gonna fight. Oh. Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe. Okay. After I swapped the main door of the cathedral, the first one to notice and react with this power was Lord of Storm. The goddess really has no way to perform a divine descent. She can only use various mediums to interfere with reality, making it difficult for her to affect him. Could be a trade. I was still feeling happy for myself when I managed to escape from Amon, satisfied that I didn't fall into his trap, but in fact, in a weird way, I did. When did he transfer his focus to Backlund? It should be after I deceived the laws to resurrect. He caught a hint of Palez, as well as the fact that there's a connection between him and me? Doctor... say what you want, bro. Leodaro's the fucking Poseidon, okay? That guy's... Oh no, he wouldn't be Poseidon. I guess he'd be Zeus, which is probably fitting for him too. He is Zeus. He's kind of goated and woaded. Back then, Leonard didn't explain in detail when he was praying. He only mentioned that there was a problem with the treasure trove of the Jacob family. For Sequence 1, who's so familiar with Amon not to notice anything, Amon is incredible. Although I've rapidly grown in my wits with Amon, I'm still far from being a top swindler like him. Once Amon becomes a Sequence 0 and can traverse the land, it'll be nightmarish for me. I have to figure out a way. I have to figure out the Marauder Pathways ritual to become a god. I need to find a way to do some damage. I can't let Amon become a god. But is this what Amon wants? He will hold a ritual and wait for me to knock on his doorstep. Klein let out a long sigh. He then sent a message to Leonard. There's no need to pray. In the cathedral, Leonard had just emerged from the soil in the garden. He was trying to rush when he heard the fool's words. He slowed down and stopped beside a stone pillar. At this moment, a aged voice echoed in his mind. What are you sad about? I haven't died. Old man, you haven't died? Look at you. What are you saying? To put it simply, I've died once, but not entirely. Oh, okay. Did you successfully deceive Amon? I can't call it deceiving per se. All these years, the thing I've thought about the most is what I should do if Amon's true body finds me. After repeated experiments, I created a technique. After my true body dies, I can revive my avatar. However, I will lose the Sequence 1 characteristic and passively lower my level. I haven't been left behind by the times either, Amon. In other words, Amon killed you and obtained your Sequence 1 characteristic when you resurrected as a Sequence 2 level? Something like that. Actually, it's not like Amon didn't notice it. He just didn't do anything when I pushed you out of the Corpse Cathedral. He just wanted to leave some hope for me. And make me lose my will to fight to the death. If not for that, I wouldn't have been finished by him so quickly. After all, I've basically recovered after absorbing the treasure trove characteristic. Old man, you pushed me out of the cathedral because I have your avatar? What do you think? Do you think I'm treating you like my grandson? Don't you have other avatars? Leonard muttered. Amon actually lied to his avatar. I must admit that he pulled a fast one on me. Oh wait, this probably means in my mind that Amon has all 3 Sequence 1 characteristics. And he was born with the uniqueness. So he just needs the ritual now to become a god. Oh, this is so cooked. Ryan, you need to become a Sequence 1. Oh, you're so cooked. This was the most important reason. As for the other matters regarding the Jacob family's ancestors or Klein Moretti playing hide and seek with Amon's true body, none of them were kept in him, making up his mind. Leonard thought for a moment and consoled. Old man, you would have fallen for this most fatal trap in the treasure trove regardless, so it's not bad for you to have survived it. That's not it. If I had a premonition that something dangerous would happen, I would have taken up the faith of a true god and become their grounded angel. With their protection, I would head to the treasure trove. After I absorbed the characteristic and regained the strength of a Sequence 1, I was considering this problem. Should I join the Church of the Evernight or work with the fool of yours, or remove the parasitizing and hide from Amon like before? Old man, you really had quite a plan. Why are you so familiar with seeking refuge from a deity? Leonard sighed inwardly. Old man, after Amon got your Sequence 1 characteristic, will he be preparing for his apotheosis ritual? Okay, yeah, confirmed. Yes, Palaz replied. This means that for a long period of time, your former colleague and ourselves, at most, would be harassed by Amon's lower level avatars, or nothing at all. What is the requirement for his apotheosis ritual? To replace someone during their apotheosis ritual. That's so cooked! But that also means Klein got so lucky. If Amon got this characteristic like a month before, he could have replaced George III and been chilling. That is a cool ritual though. Let me just add that to my notes. Thoughts on your air ritual? That is so fitting, Nagitsu. I think that's perfect. That is so fitting. Amon's next focus will definitely be the apotheosis ritual. This will be our last moments of peace and quiet. Once he becomes a god, he will come to you and deal with that fool of yours. Who do you think is gonna get stolen? Someone just I feel like another Black Emperor, no, maybe? Because George III just died, which means all 3 characteristics and uniqueness would be in one place. So maybe someone else from the royal family will try. Although I can't abandon you and run ahead of time, I have to worry that he has lost the intention of retrieving all the characteristics at the angel level. Gain control of those rare spirits as soon as possible, become a demigod, wield a holy artifact, and obtain the favor of the Evernight. Leonard immediately found a quiet spot and informed Mr. Fool. Someone else's apotheosis ritual? The only other one who seems to be able to become a god anytime soon is Adam. If the two brothers end up fighting. I hope that the avatars that Amon leaves to me won't interfere with me for too long. I hope that I can find the traces of the Dark Demonic Wolf soon. I hope that Dorian will agree to the deal. Ryan returned to the real world and continued walking. Bug, you missed a lot. You missed a lot. Like, a lot today. Damn. The ritual for becoming a bug. Yes, you did miss that. What the fuck did I just write? What the fuck is going on? Dude, actually, I was actually having a stroke there. What the fuck? Dorb. Dorb my go. Backlands, Sherwood Borough, 22 Hope Street. With broad shoulders and thick arms, Dorian Gray unknowingly paced back and forth in his room, waiting for Forrest to visit. No matter how composed or mentally prepared he was, he couldn't help but feel nervous. After a period of time, there was a series of knocks on the door. I already did Nugget, so I don't know what you're talking about. Dorian listened to the rhythm for a few seconds, took a deep breath, and opened the door. Outside the door was Fours. Dorian habitually looked to his student, and after confirming that no one was looking in their direction, he made his student pass. At the same time, he glanced at Fours' hand and realized that she wasn't carrying any luggage. Dorian retracted his gaze and walked to the middle of the room and said, "Have a seat." "Good morning, teacher." "Did the lot of you really kill Botas?" "Yes." Forrest took out an exquisite long cigar case from her pocket, opened it, and showed Dorian its interior. A pair of dark black eyes, frozen with indescribable horror. Dorian had been mentally prepared. It was like receiving the terrifying head that would cause nightmares occasionally. He would never expected his student not to carry any luggage and only to take out a lady's cigar case. This made him believe that it was a relic that could prove Botas' identity, but the truth was beyond him. I think it's cool, Ramiro, but I also think, like, how long was Palaz hiding from you? Like 1,000 years? Kinda cooked, come on. Come on, get it together. This made him believe, nope, this was still Botas' corpse, but there was even less than what Lewis Wayne left behind. Only a pair of eyes. The spiritual intuition of an astrologer convinced Dorian that it was Botas's. Seeing that, Forrest explained, his body completely collapsed and dissipated, only the pair of eyeballs are still intact. These eyeballs contain the remnants of terror and contamination of the Box of the Great Old Ones before Botas' passing. It is a very strong cursed item, so I didn't send it to you directly, as it would cause terrible things for the postman. The corruption of the box? Did he die under the hands of the Box of the Great Old Ones? This is fate. The first item that Botas had stolen after his betrayal was the Box of the Great Old Ones. Forrest had heard Ma'am Hermit and Ma'am Justice's description of the general situation at the gathering. She learned how gorgeous and dangerous the battle was that she missed. She thought for a moment and said, "You could say that." However, before the contamination by the box, he had already begun losing control. Dorian wasn't surprised and said, "Keep it. This is a spoil of war you deserve." As Forrest touched the iron cigar case, he placed it back into her pocket. Dorian leaned forward, clasped his hands, and said, "Botus was one of the most talented apprentices I have ever seen. Who knew he would end up like this?" Having said that, Dorian let out a long sigh, as though he was recalling and confessing something. Forrest didn't know much about the details of what had happened, so she didn't dare speak recklessly. She could only maintain silence. "How did you digest the scribe potion?" Dorian asked. "It's mainly because someone provided me with the help. On the one hand, I recorded a lot of unique, high-level abilities, and on the other, I went to a lot of places in the past few months where I recorded different cultures and scenery." "Isn't this easy to imitate?" Dorian asked. "Gehrman Sparrow?" "Yes," Forrest replied. "What kind of deal does he want to make? Or rather, what does he want?" "He wants the potion formula of a planeswalker, and he plans on using the Box of the Great Old Ones to exchange for one of the 2 Grade 0 sealed artifacts in your family's hand." This price was definitely a generous offer. Forrest had initially thought that Mr. World was going to use a promise to exchange for the Planeswalker formula and an artifact, but he never expected him to throw in the box. Of course, it was of value to allow the Abraham family to be free of the curse. However, a promise was forever a promise that may not be fulfilled. Bye, Nagito. Have a good night, man. Dorian wasn't surprised by Gehrman's request. He had long mentally been prepared for it. He felt that the conditions were beyond his imagination. After all, the family didn't have many things that a demigod could covet at this point. He frowned and said, "Why does he want the potion formula of a planeswalker?" "I don't know." Dorian stood up and started pacing. "I need to meet him and have a chat before I can make a decision." "All right." Dorian heaved a sigh of relief and prepared to send a student away. He had arranged to meet at this time because Dorian heaved a sigh of relief and prepared to send a student away before taking his medicine for consumption. He had arranged for this meet to happen because he had taken into consideration that the curse would happen at any moment. If anything were to happen, the enemy wouldn't be able to channel his spirit. Forrest got up, didn't walk to the door. She stood on a spot and grabbed at the void. Her arm suddenly sank and pulled out a figure. With this seal, I summon Divine General Mahoraga. The figure had black hair, brown eyes, his facial features cut and cold. None other than Gehrman Sparrow. Gehrman's eyes moved slightly as he recovered from the sluggish look. "Teacher, he's here. He's Gehrman Sparrow." This left Dorian slightly agape. He forgot to close his mouth. Although he came from an ancient family and knew many things, there were many things he couldn't imagine, due to him only being a sequence 7. After moving his consciousness over, Klein looked into his clothes and took out a pocket watch. He looked to Dorian and said, "You have 3 minutes." Oh shit. I don't know if he's saying like you have 3 minutes to, like I'm giving you 3 minutes of my time, or you have 3 minutes to take that fucking medicine before you... And of course, if you do die, I can pull you above the grey fog and just question your spirit. It's either or is fine with me, trust me. It's exactly as the rumors say. He's cold, arrogant, and insane. Give me a reason to believe in your promise. He closed the pocket watch. Klein placed it back into his inner pocket and said, "In truth, I'm already aware of the ritual that allows Mr. Dorr to return." Just as he was about to ask, he heard Gehrman say, "But I don't plan to do it." Why? Dorian and Forrest were both puzzled. Do you know of the corruption that comes from the cosmos? Oh, time limit of projection. Ah, I see, okay. When it came to the understanding of the cosmos, the Abraham family was definitely ranked first outside true deities and angels. Dorian nodded and said yes. I suspect that Mr. Dor has been corrupted by the cosmos. As for my promise, it can be fulfilled right away, but you might not be willing to do so. Furthermore, it doesn't completely resolve the curse. What's the solution? You and your family member will change their faith to my Lord. That way, when the full moon or blood moon comes, you will be blessed and no longer suffer from the curse. After digesting the Scholar of Yore potion, there was no need for him to pull any person above the Grey Fog to avoid the ravings. He could use Angel's Embrace to resolve the problem. The only thing he would need to be worried about was that if there were too many members of the family, it may overwhelm him. Who is your lord? Dorian asked. The great Mr. Fool. Oh god. Abraham's an old family. They might have heard of the Fool as well, because if Pala Zoroas knows of it, they might know of it too. And oh my god, this is so cool. We're actually gonna get a church. We're gonna make a church. Boys, we're making a church! The Fool? Are you from the Antigonus family? Dorian made some connections? Klein shook his head and rejected his guess. Dorian fell silent again. Change songs? What song now? Back to normal? Dorian fell silent again, but considering there were only 3 minutes, he hurriedly asked, if we believe in that entity of yours, we can avoid the trouble brought about by the curse? As an ancient family, he knew very well how dangerous it was to believe in an unknown existence. He was afraid that he would resolve Mr. Dor's ravings, but bring about another curse. Klein answered frankly, this is a temporary solution, but I will find you a better one. Dorian nodded. I will try to believe in your lord and give you the potion formula of Planeswalker. If the curse really can be resolved simply, or temporarily, we will complete the transaction of the artifacts. He planned on using himself as an experiment to see if the method worked. Furthermore, he didn't plan on telling the other members. He wanted to get them to wait for Gehrman's supposedly better solution. Alright, Klein took out a pen and paper from his pocket and scribbled the name of the Fool. As for Dorian, he began to use a crystal ball to aid in his memories and write down the potion formula. After the exchange, Klein cast his gaze down on supplementary ingredients. And ritual. A supplementary ingredient. 1 worm of star, 1 worm of time, 1 worm of spirit. It's the same thing. Advancement ritual. Leave legends in 9 places outside this planet? So there's aliens now? Because he could... He could go to the other planets, but if there's nothing there, then there's no one to leave a legend for. So that means there's aliens. What? And we're like... No, Hope, I considered that, because even Roselle at one point said, like, oh, we can, for me it would be no problem right now to go to the moon or whatever. I can't remember the exact term, the phrasing, but it was something to that effect. So I figured, I just never expected there to be things there. Could the great old ones be like people from Jupiter? They're just like, yes, we are a race that existed for For billions of years, we know all, we see all. Don't be xenophobic. Bro, xenophobia doesn't count if they're from a different planet. Xenophobia is countries. It doesn't count. If they're from another planet, they're a different species. I'm a speciesist. Fuck 'em. Species-ished? I don't know. What the fuck? Oh my god, Luvian only made one clip today? What a good day. Man, I must have been really controlled today. How will they be able to breathe out there? Klein can probably hold his breath for like, I don't know, 80 minutes or something. He'd probably be fine. I wasn't here for 90% of the stream. Oh, thank God. This is so cute. Oh, the star card. We haven't heard much from him, but I believe he will be an extraordinary member. He will get up to so much shenaniganery. Red gloves, cool. Glass only on the right eye. String, Amon, confirmed. Radiation would be a bigger problem? Nah, I'd win. It's fine. This is so cute. Jack and the Beanstalk, Snow White, I don't. By the way, Klein can breathe in the air from history. Shut the fuck up, don't even. What the fuck do you mean breathe in the air from history? What the fuck are you talking about? If you could make a new pathway, what would it be genuinely? I'm telling you, man. The accountant pathway has some potential, I'm telling you. We could make a really cool one. You could... I kind of see it as like a mix between the lawyer and the arbiter pathway. It'd be cool. Hey, my good lord, that looks like such a dignified gentleman. He remembers the air he breathes. That's such a dignified old man. Ooh. No, the twink is right behind me. Ah. Surprise, motherfucker. Ah, that's so good. EBS is the god of business, yes. Ah, that was so good. Ugh. Next stream, yeah, Labyrinth tomorrow. Yeah. Technically contracts by business. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, I think we'll end stream there, guys. I'm gonna go get some rest. I've done a lot of nothing today, so I'd like to get some rest, you know. Busy day. Alright, I'll catch y'all next stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for popping by. If you're new here, consider joining our Discord, link in the description. And other than that, no night stream, no Nightwalker, all good. Alright, bye guys. Love you.